Hey guys, what's going on? So in this video, I want to talk about spreads. I also want to give you an update about my titles, what's happening with YouTube, and my performance. So there's a little bit of a mistake where people thought that my year-to-date performance was about 8%. It's actually 18%, as you can see on the screen. In terms of clickbait titles, I'm going to do my very best to keep it as honest as possible with you guys, not make those fancy titles. But to be honest, the views are up by like 50% because clickbait titles work and all my competition does it. So if I don't really do it, I like being a legit guy, so I'm not really doing it much. But once in a while, don't get upset because people just click on that and you guys are telling me that it works based on my YouTube analytics. Like if I go into my analytics, you can see here that it's the highest click-through rate ever. It's the most views and it's a top performing video. So, I mean, not a big deal. I don't really make that much on YouTube. I really don't care that much. But again, I want to reach more people and I want to help more people learn how to invest. So once in a while, I might have some clickbait titles. I'm just being honest with you, okay? But I'm going to do my best not to do that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention was obviously I'm not going anywhere. I love doing this and I don't do this for the money. So, yeah, I don't really feel like actually quitting. So, again, apologize for that titles. And then Discord does have a discount for July 4th, which is coming very, very soon. So, yeah, I post all my trades. And yeah, there's a coaching call link every Monday and Wednesday. There's a spreadsheet. There's tons of management videos. And then you have basically 24/7 access to me anytime you want. So, if I go into Ask Henry, someone asks me a question, we have a coach, but someone tags me. So see, no one's tagging me, but if they tag me like at Henry, then I'm just gonna respond to like, hey, do I close out Tesla? Do I buy leap option? What delta do I pick on a spread? Henry, I have 15% of my money in Neo, and I have X amount of contracts. When do I get out of it? Or should I close or should I diversify, etc., etc., etc. And then I give Uncle Insights as well. So like honestly, my Uncle Insights tab is pretty empty because if I did everything properly Monday and Wednesday, then Friday, it just like we're just laughing to the bank. We're just like ha 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 he, we're having a good weekend. Okay, so I said no action needed today for expiration. That was last week, and that's because like literally everything went well. All right, so pretty simple, pretty straightforward there. Now let's talk about the types of spreads. There's four types of spreads. There's call credit spreads. There is call debit spreads. There's put credit spreads and put debit spreads, right? So there's four different spreads. Two are credits, two are debits. For me personally, well, we'll talk about closing out them today because as per the title, right, we're going to talk about spreads and closing them and an update here. So in terms of like spreads, to be honest, I just don't like debit spreads. Like if we look through my portfolio right now, you'll notice that essentially all of my spreads are credits. So that's a credit, 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 um, credit, right? So Airbnb is down, but it's not in the money yet. So a lot of people ask me like, when do I close? Like, what's the optimal time to close? Well, that's where things get really interesting, right? Because for me, if a spread is not in the money, then it's not at risk. It's not really something that I even consider or like worry over. A lot of people think that they can be super proactive or put in more work. The unfortunate thing is with trading, it's kind of like dating, right? So if you overdo it, it's not a good thing. If you overtrade, you actually get worse results. So my recommendation is that you don't really want to panic over trades. So like as I look at Airbnb right now, I mean it's not pleasant to see $2,800 loss. It's not a little amount of money. Even for me, it's not a little amount of money, right? Money is money, and it's always great to save money, to protect money, to grow your money. It doesn't matter how wealthy you are or how broke you are. It's always good to be careful, right? But fact of the matter is, there's not a whole lot that can be done. So I made this example in my Discord community. We were having a call, and a lot of people asked me like, when do you actually close? Are you closing it as it hits the money? If it's in between the two strikes? So it's a really complicated question because it really does depend. But the answer really is that most of the time you want to leave it open and not touch it until Friday of expiration. That's where I found to be the biggest raw return. Okay, so by not touching it, that is the best. And how do you avoid getting into that situation to begin with? Well, there's only one way to avoid it, okay? So tell me if this makes sense. Hopefully, I don't hurt anyone's feelings, but I'm being super direct with you, all right? The way you avoid getting into the money on a spread is the same way you avoid getting diabetes, okay? The only thing that you can do is have preventative measures. Okay, the best medicine is preventative medicine. Okay, so if you're extremely overweight and you're not taking care of your health, no shit, you're going to have problems, okay? The same thing is with the spreads, for example, okay? With the spreads, if you have spreads that are at a 40 delta, no shit, you're going to get into the money and you're going to have a problem most of the time, about half of the time. So the best way to not have a problem with spreads is very simple. You open up spreads that are very out of the money, and specifically you would use the Bollinger Band, which I can show you right now what that's going to look like. I can show you how to pick a better strike price. But by picking the correct strike price and by preventing a potential adverse move of it going into the money, that's what you can do, right? You can not get diabetes, or I know there's type 1, there's type 2. I actually went to school for biomedical engineering for some time. I never mentioned that. But I know there's type 1, type 2, and all you can really do is maintain a healthy weight, maintain a balanced lifestyle, right? Get your sun, etc. Right? So that's the best that you can do. Um, but check it out. I'm looking at the Bollinger Band. This is my favorite metric. I'm using 20 and 2, 2 and 20, 2 and 20. Okay, 2 and 20 is basically two standard deviations, 20 days out. Okay, two standard deviations is it's a statistics is based on the bell curve. It's not super hard. I took a bunch of statistics classes in college and actually have a degree in business analytics slash data analytics. So it's pretty simple. It's basically trying to tell you where the Bollinger Band, or where the stock is, I should say, is likely to trade within. Okay, so it's based on statistics. Like basically, it's like height. Okay, so if you take a look at, you're a man, you're 5'10", you have a son. Your son's going to be about 5'10". That would be the middle of the Bollinger Band. Now your son could be 6'1". That would be the top of the Bollinger Band, and the bottom would be like your son could be about 5'7", right? But if you're 5'10", your son's going to be about 5'10", right? He could be a little bit higher. That would be a little bit higher in the Bollinger Band. Could he be 6'5"? He could. It's possible. There's never a 0% chance, but it's very unlikely, and that's what the Bollinger Band is discussing right here. That's basically what it's showing you. So top of the Bollinger Band here is 283. If you want to be super safe, you would do a call credit spread. Actually, I can show you we do have a Tesla position. So we are actually making money on Tesla. And again, if you want to join the Discord group, I'm showing every single thing I'm doing, all the buys, the sells, everything. I mean, my performance is very stable and it's very consistent. So I suggest that you check out the first link in the description. But, Tesla 248. Okay, I'm up about 1,500 bucks basically. Check it out. I did a call credit spread, okay, at 325, 330. Okay, so why did I go way higher than this? Well, it's because the Bollinger Band says 283. I went even higher at 325, 330. Why? Because I'm trying to prevent diabetes. I'm trying not to be a moron. Okay, I'm trying not to go for 40 delta. I'm trying to be safe and consistent. It's pretty simple. Like honestly, when people join my Discord, it's like a caveman. They can just follow and get results. Obviously, they learn and do it themselves too. That's cool, but you have to be a caveman. Your intelligence has to be as much as a caveman to understand that you have to go out of the money. I can't stand when people trade right at the money. They're like, oh, why didn't my position blow up? It's like your position blew up because you're too aggressive. Like, of course, you're going for like 55% return in 3 weeks. Okay, do you think that's possible? Why do you think that Warren Buffett gets 20%? Why do you think the stock market average is 10%? And why do you think that you can get 55% in 3 weeks? Like, obviously, you are taking excessive risk, and it's a clear correlation. Okay, there's a clear correlation. Risk, return. They go like this. Okay, I don't know why people think, oh, I can get a high return without risk. Okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, it just doesn't make any sense. You have to be logical here. This is emotional game, but you also have to use logic. Okay, so it's a combination of both, right? Just like poker, it's a combination of both. You have to use logic, but you also have to use emotion. All right, so that's why there's so few good traders, because some people are way too analytical, and I have lots of doctors and lawyers contacting me. I have lots of clients that are they're very well off, they're professionals, and they're always like perfectionists. Like, I want to put in more work, Henry. I'm going to do more. I'm like, if you want to work harder for the same results, be my guest. But it's pretty simple. You only need a couple hours a week, and you're going to get about the same results as you can get. I mean, putting in more work in trading gets you less results. Like literally, Teachers that are English teachers that have a bachelor's degree outperform physics and astrophysics and mathematics PhDs who are scalping and swing trading and day trading. All bullshit. It's all bullshit. I'm sorry. But I'm telling you the truth. At least I'm honest, okay? Yes, I like, I'm a coach. I make money from Discord. I also make money from trading. I do both. But just to be honest with you guys, I'm not out here to like, fake guru on you and tell you, oh, this is going to work and this is this and this. You can trade all day and you get crazy results. No, it doesn't work like that. That's why I sell passive income. I sell that story because that's what I do. Why would I work harder for the same results? I always tell people, why would you want to be a full time trader? This is nonsense. This is so stupid. You want to trade full time by your screen and be stressed out all day to get the same results I'm getting in 2 hours? Doesn't make any sense. That's why I believe in passive income, weekly and monthly income, just safe trading, low volatility. Because I'd rather make $300 to $500 a day than these swing traders. Oh, I made 3.5 grand. They're all bragging and they spend 2 hours bragging. Only the next day they lose their profits. It's like, what are you wasting your life on? Like you have nothing better to do? Yeah. So, and I studied this stuff, guys. I went to college for finance, economics, business analytics. So I have like a kind of like a triple degree there. Um, I went to Drexel University. I spent 5 years of my life on this finance stuff, and I was hoping myself that I can trade full time. I'm going to make all this money. Well, I did make a bunch of money, but it's not a bunch of time. It's not like I need to stare at the market all day. And at first, I was super obsessed, but now it's like most of my time is actually spent on client success. Like, I want to make sure that people are getting results, they understand what's going on because the actual trading itself, like, you just open positions. I open Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday, it's just like, usually I don't even do anything because I'm following preventative measures, right? I'm opening spreads that are 12 to 15 delta out of the money. I'm picking stocks that have high implied volatility. I have, Tesla, Airbnb, Shopify is going really well. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking just to open up a couple of positions and, make it as simple as possible. And in terms of like just, tickers that I trade, people always ask me like, what do you think about, WFY WKCOQ. I'm like, yo, you don't need to find all these like penny cap stocks. You don't need to find small cap stocks. You don't need to find the next Tesla. You don't need to do that because it's probably not going to happen. You spending all this time and subscribing to all these paid services of like, I won't even mention them, right? But the yeah, the FOL, whatever. You get it, right? There's so many of these services that are like, oh, pick the next investment that gets you 184%. It doesn't actually work that way because the market is very efficient. Okay, there's a lot of people that are looking at the market. There's a lot of people trading the market. There's a lot of people making money in the market. But the only reason people make money in the market is not because the person's smart. It's not because they picked the right stock. It's not because they have a magic formula. The only reason most people can make money in the market is because the market always goes up over time because there's inflation, there's more GDP growth in the United States. So even a monkey could pick a stock and it's probably going to go up over time. So there's no perfect formula for picking the best stocks. Now there's some formulas like I look at price to sales, price to earnings. I'm not picking the small cap stocks because their liquidity is trash. I always want to make sure when I'm doing spreads, this is such an important rule. Oh my gosh. If you're doing spreads, you must pick stocks with high implied volatility, of course, but they also have to have good bid ask spread. Okay, so like for example, I do like Chipotle a lot, and I would love to do Chipotle spreads because one of the benefits of spreads is you can kind of get into expensive stocks, right? So there's a lot of expensive stocks out there. If you sell a put option on Chipotle, you need $206,000. That's a lot of money, right? Not everyone has that laying around. In fact, I would say most people don't have $206,000, and most people die without even having this amount of money. Like freaking sad, freaking sad. It's really tough, and I get it. Most of the wealth is really concentrated on the 1%. I actually took a class on wealth inequality and stuff like that. Um, you know, I think it's important. Not that I'm like some kind of crazy woke guy. It's like, oh, it's really important. I just thought it was really interesting because I wanted to study wealth. I wanted to understand how the wealthy, how do they get rich? What do they do, right? Um, but anyways, so you know, Chipotle just super expensive, so you're not going to be able to sell puts unless you're one of my doctor, dentist, lawyer, software engineer clients, which is just really just for or business owner. So there's only five types of people that are actually you know they're like they have decent amounts of money, like multiple six figures, and then obviously they make crazy money, and it's really easy to work with them. But I don't expect that. Most people are not there. Most people are just regular jobs. You know, they make 40, 50K. They just want to save for retirement. They need to have a plan. They have kids. They have family. They have to get to some financial freedom eventually. You know, I always tell them, like, you're not going to get it tomorrow, but it's going to take some time. You know, focus on the plan, focus on the long term, and yeah, we're gonna get there. So, for example, actually, I want to show you guys a net worth calculation sheet that I always like whenever I have a new client. I show them this. Um, you know, basically here there's a few nuances here, right? So basically, um, say that you're starting off with $5,000, okay, and then let's say that you can make 3% a month, so that's like 36% a year, and then you're going to be able to save and put away. I always tell people if you can put away $2,000 a month, you're good. If you can't yet, you should be able to in the future. Um, and if not, like there's just something's up. Something's up. If you can't save $2,000 a month, you got to upgrade your skill set. I'm sorry, but like you know, you're doing something wrong if you can't save $2,000 a month or you're overspending. Okay, so here's the plan. Obviously 36% a year is not going to continue on into infinity, but it is pretty easy to get to seven figures like this. I mean, even more than that, but I don't want to promise people the world because I'm not one of those type of guys that's like, oh, we're going to make 1% a day, guys, and I have the secret formula. No, it's like, I don't have the secret. Well, I have a lot of skills and I know a lot of things, but it's not a secret. I don't consider it a secret formula. Okay. So I'm not going to promise people to dream and, oh, like everyone else. I'm not. I'm going to be realistic. Okay. So here's realistic. All right. Put away money. You get a 36% return. You get to seven figures in 9 years. All right. If that doesn't excite you, then you got a broke person's mentality. And that's like the wrong mentality. Right. But, anyways, so, listen again, most people they freaking die and they never get to seven figures. They never even reach this amount. So I have a plan for basically every person that joins Discord. It's like, hey, you're gonna become a millionaire, not tomorrow, not next year, over time, for sure. You are gonna become a millionaire. It's not even that hard. You can also become a deca millionaire. It's just time. I mean, New York was bought for like, I don't know, like $7, and now it's worth like 70 trillion or something, or 7 trillion, I don't know, right? But compounding is freaking powerful. Okay, so without making this video too long, let me wrap it up with spreads. So for example, on Chipotle, what I was trying to say was, I just want to show you the last liquidity and then let you guys go. We want to respect your time. Time is valuable. Time is money. July 21st, so let's go to sell put. For example, really bad. Chipotle is not good, although I would love to do it. So if you look at here, look at that bid 740 and look at the ask, it's 930. So it's trash. Learn that lesson and watch my playlist because my playlist will help you learn how to trade options. Thanks.